just before the news there on the cost implications of this. And you haven't got to be an economist to work out this is absolutely vast.
Yeah, I mean, look, the entire business model of companies like Uber have been based on transferring the fixed capital costs, which, typically if you're an employer, typically if you have some kind of, you're producing a good, the fixed capital costs are the responsibility of capital, responsibility of the employer. Whereas this time it's transferred on the employees. So the drivers, the fuel, the phone, the cars, the repair, the insurance, they're all borne by the drivers, the employees in this case. And so the profits and the revenue generated by Uber is enormous, despite what they might say. So this actually brings them into the kind of labor law that employers across Britain have to abide by, the basic fundamental rights of wages and pensions and holiday pay.
It is an interesting business model, isn't it? And we know that this is, I think, referred to as the disruptor model, certainly in Silicon Valley, that the idea is to, wipe out your competition and then you can dominate and rule the world, as it were. I had this email in which I read earlier. I'll just read it to you now, Ashok. It came from a guy called Chandler, who says, the business model behind Uber was simply a license to print money. Come up with an idea, then absolve yourself of every single workplace responsibility, literally everything. Simply take a commission and then claim it's nothing to do with me. In many ways, congratulations to the person who came up with it, but it was never going to last. Now, I understand in the States, New York, somebody told me they've never turned a dime profit in New York for the same reasons. There is a genius behind it, but has it got any longevity to it?
Well, there is a claim that, Uber hasn't made profits, but their model is based on hyper kind of venture capitalist funding. You finance something to the hilt, and then you drive out any kind of cab companies that might be in competition. And then once that's driven out and you become a monopoly employer and monopoly company, you then can do what you want with prices and what you do with wages. So that is a model, right? But the idea that Uber hasn't made any profits is really kind of is a little bit of a miscalculation, in the sense that Uber's market capitalization last year was valued at £66 billion. Their annual revenue per year is £12 billion. 80 or 75% of their revenue went to, famously in 2019, in the third quarter, they lost $5.2 billion. But none of that was because they were paying workers even the minimum wage. None of that was because they were paying fixed capital, again, borne entirely by the workers. They were 75% of that went directly to stock-based compensation. So nearly all of it was going towards shareholders who were siphoning off because they overinflated their IPO, their initial IPO when they went public. So it's not that they're lacking profits because they're not generating money for their shareholders, but that's just being classified as debt repayment. So again, even the Uber representative who came out yesterday or spoke earlier was saying that this is not going to have an effect on their profits. And I think that's probably to keep shareholders from freaking out. But it's also probably has a lot of bearing in reality.
So the column the accountant fills in will show that everything's tickety-boo, but actually this has got to have some kind of dent somewhere, because we could be talking billions here. And this is just in the UK.
I mean, look, Uber came out and said that, we're going to make this decision. We made this decision. They were obviously brought there kicking and screaming, but their calculation is that, workers and drivers, the driving time begins at the point in which a driver is picking up a customer. But in fact, actually, what the union and what, workers are contesting, and also what the Supreme Court Justice Leggett stated explicitly, is that working time begins the moment the driver logs in. And so in miscalculating that as well, so again, they're being an intransigent employer and in direct violation of the court case, that reduces the wages by 40 to 50%. Because most of the time, what Uber's entire model is to, flood the British roads with Uber drivers. So what that does is it reduces the waiting time for customers, but increases the waiting time for workers.
Of course, Yeah.
And that waiting time is unwaged and unremunerated, 40
Yeah.
to 50%.
Yeah, you talked to an Uber driver that was there on day one, and life was fantastic. Those that were there on year 7, not so good for the very reasons you outlined. Could it be reasonably said, just in a few words, if you could, Ashok, is this capitalism gone wrong?
Oh, this is capitalism. So capitalism, the entire basis of capitalism is to maximize profits. There's not a good capitalism or a bad capitalism. This is just capitalism. And so what we see here is that workers were able to organize and hold capitalism to some account, to just respect the most fundamental rights of work for British employees and employers. So I think I don't think it's an anathema. I think this is part and parcel of a system that's allowed to, a hugely asymmetrical relationship between employer and employee.
And inevitability helped on, of course, by technology, which, of course, has allowed it to function and manifest in this way. Ashok, thank you. Ashok Kumar, a lecturer in political economy at Birkbeck University. It's fascinating, isn't it, when you look at where we're at? I mean, some would talk about caring capitalism or responsible capitalism, but he just said, actually, that's capitalism. But, not everybody would go there, I think it's fair.